RocketFist! Wow! Wow!
Hi.
Wanda sucks, and I hate her guts.
Okay,
Hold
can we start
Anthony.
the video and then you can
Hold
talk
on.
Go.
about terrible? Okay,
No,
okay,
screw
everybody
Wanda
quiet.
and screw
Every-
Marvel.
Shut up,
Daniel, be
Daniel.
quiet.
No, screw it all. Screw it all, Chris. Okay, I'm
Okay,
done.
5 seconds of silence, and then we'll start the video. Okay, everyone. Well, welcome back to another civilized discussion. What are we discussing this time, Daniel?
Bullcrap and
We're discussing
Vision.
WandaVision. That's the correct answer. We're discussing
Bullcrap and
WandaVision,
Vision.
which was the last episode to age this recording. Came out last Friday, the last episode. So we are going to review it. We're going to discuss it. My plan is for the first 3 episodes, we're actually going to discuss them together. Only because they're fairly similar, and plot-wise, not a whole lot happens in them.
Hold
The
on.
plot, what I mean is the plot doesn't really super thicken until episode 4. So I just think it's better maybe to discuss those 3 all together as one. So to begin, episode 1, 2, and 3, I'll pull up the titles of them if that helps you remember
There were
what
titles?
they were. Yeah, each episode has a title.
What?
Part 1, Part 2, Part 3.
No, the first one is called Filmed Before a Live Studio Audience. Number 2 is Don't Touch That Dial. And number 3 is Now in Color. So basically, the first 3 episodes are based off of sitcoms from the 50s, 60s, and 70s in that order. The first episode is on a sitcom in the 50s, the second in the 60s, and the third in the 70s. And the first 2 episodes are in black and white, accordingly, right? Because they didn't have color in those eras yet.
They're mostly in black and white.
Yes, we'll get to that when we get to that. So, the first
Well,
episode,
you have
right,
to get to it because
is
that
with
has a major point
Vision
in the
trying to
plot,
impress his boss.
Anthony.
Wanda is trying to make dinner, but they're trying to remember some important thing that's supposed to be happening that day. Turns out it's Vision bringing his boss over. Wanda doesn't understand that. Tries to do something else. Hilarity ensues. And then
Caleb, are you in game yet?
episode
Sorry,
2
Anthony.
I'm in game, but it's frozen.
is on Wanda and Vision trying to fit in their new town because it's sort of
Okay.
established that they've just recently moved here.
Let me
So they
let's
try
restart, guys.
They try to be part of a magic act for a charity event, and Vision is having some mechanical problems. And then the episode ends with Wanda becoming pregnant. And then episode 3 is with her pregnancy as she rapidly, her pregnancy rapidly, I don't know, increases. Is that the right word? And progresses, and she ends up having the kids by the end of the episode. So, does that refresh everybody's memory enough?
Yep.
Okay. So, just to just to tick off Daniel, AJ, why don't you start
All right,
with what you thought of the first 3 episodes?
The very first episode for me was a little unnerving because I wasn't expecting it to be so happy-go-lucky with one small element of terrifying displays of terrifyingness. I did enjoy the humor. I felt like the 2 main actors, so Elizabeth Olsen and oh, I know his name.
Paul Bettany.
Paul Bettany did fantastic job of making it look like they were actors from this time period. So that was brilliant. First episode, it had me coming back for more, but it was nothing like the later episodes where it was just like, I can't wait another week. For me, it was like, yeah, that was fun. I'll wait for the next episode. So then for the second episode, I think that was the most fun I've had with a Marvel TV show. The second episode with the magic was just, oh man, I loved every single bit of it. The commercials were ridiculous,
Yes.
and what I appreciated about the first two episodes was just going online and reading about them afterwards. Like, everybody was just throwing out the craziest ideas, but after watching the two episodes, you know that they're not grounded in any sort of knowledge. It's pure speculation, and so it made watching the episodes fine. The third episode where she got pregnant and it was in color, that shocked me. I had no idea that they were planning on going for the whole family dynamic in WandaVision, so that was interesting. The episode Geraldine was a nice touch, and when she name dropped Ultron, I think my jaw literally dropped. I couldn't believe somebody would have the guts to say that to Wanda, even if like they thought she wasn't fully in control of her own mind. So the first three episodes for me, they were great. They were fun. They had elements of just realizing something is not right here, but not really knowing who's made it not right. And so the internet wasn't really able to influence too much of my opinion on the first three episodes, and so I enjoyed them.
Okay. Caleb, what were your thoughts on the first 3 episodes?
So I didn't hear any of the hype going into the show, so I went into it not knowing what to expect. And honestly, if I had not watched the 4th episode, I probably would not have kept watching. Because I was not down for just the...
That's fair.
It was when they pulled into the outside world, it was like, oh, there's going to be an actual plot. And it's not just going to be this weird TV show within a TV show. So, I liked the little... I think they did a good job of, like, time period placement for the TV show's themes.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, will you freaking hurry up?
I don't think Chris can do anything. I think it's probably frozen.
Nope. It's
Anything
completely
you-
frozen.
It's
All right, hold
frozen
on.
again?
I have a suggestion.
Okay, anything particular, Caleb, that stood out to you in the first 3 episodes, or were they pretty blah?
Yeah, they were pretty blah.
Okay.
Like I said, if I hadn't watched the 4th one, I wouldn't have kept watching.
Well, I guess Chris is doing his thing. I guess we'll let Daniel go. Daniel, what were your thoughts on the first 3 episodes?
Well, the first 3 episodes of this stupid show were actually pretty good. I had no qualms with anything. I enjoyed Vision at work, his buddies at the neighborhood watch. Had a great relationship. I was hoping they would build on that, keep some of those awesome characters in it. And then, well, I'll get to that in a future episode discussion. I loved Agatha's appearance in the first 3 episodes. She was the neighbor, you know,
The noisy
the perfect neighbor that nobody really likes talking to, but always has to talk to them. Those exist.
They do exist.
Yeah. Yeah, I had no problems with the first 3 episodes. All was fine and dandy. the overarching feel of something is wrong here. You're like, yeah, something's definitely wrong here, but what? We don't know. Except in the third episode, when a helicopter comes in and it's not black and white and it's red. You're like, what fishy business is this?
Yeah.
We find out what fishy business that is.
Fishing business?
Yeah, so I have no problems with the first 3 episodes. They're decent. The comedy's fun. It's good. Good.
Was there anything that particularly stood out to you?
Yes. The dude with the mustache. I don't know what his name was. I want
That
to call
was
him
a
Walter.
killer mustache.
I'm gonna call him Walter.
The guy who
Walter
was married
awesome.
to Dottie.
Sure. I loved him. I wanted to see more of him.
Oh yeah, what?
He
was
was
that
just
the third episode?
he's just a depressed man
With a wife.
with exactly, and he spoke to me.
He spoke to me.
Could you identify with that, Daniel? Is that
I
don't
do
have a
identify
wife. What are
very
you
much
talking
with
about?
Walter.
depressed man with a wife?
Well, I'm just a depressed man without a wife, but yeah.
Oh my goodness. You need
Well,
help?
now. I'm sorry, Daniel.
Thank you.
You should talk to someone about that.
No, I prefer to live in anger.
But anyways, yeah. I'll talk about that when I get to my turn. But
About anger?
anything else to add, Daniel, or should we move on?
No,
Are you done?
I'm saving my rant for later.
Okay. Chris, what was your thoughts?
Sorry, just finishing my turn.
Oh my goodness, Chris.
Hold your horses. My thought was basically 3 words for the first 2 episodes. Or, no, it'd be more like 5. What the heck is this? Like, going into it, it's not at all what I expected it to be, especially the first 2 episodes. The black and white. So I just didn't know how I felt about it. I can't say I enjoyed it or disliked it. I was just kind of like, what is this? And that's all I could honestly think about. Like, I kept waiting for something to happen. And it didn't until the red helicopter showed up. But again, it didn't answer any questions. So, like Caleb, if it hadn't changed within probably the 4th episode or at all, I definitely would not have kept watching. And that's all I have.
Fair enough. Okay, is that everyone?
That's everyone.
Not forgetting anyone? Except myself. Okay. So my thoughts. Luckily I wrote down some notes so I can be quicker this time. I have to agree with most of you guys where I say that yes, they weren't exciting episodes. I found myself skipping through some of them, some of the parts, because they were just kind of dragging on a little bit. Regardless, though, I do think they were still good episodes. And why do I say that? Because I think they hit their mark. They were the first 3 episodes are trying to be a sitcom. That is all they're trying to be, and I think they actually perfectly hit that. It felt like a sitcom, like I was actually watching a sitcom, and they even hit the right feel for each genre, right? So the 50s one felt like a 50s, the 60s felt like a 60s sitcom, and the 70s felt like a 70s sitcom. And if you do watch sitcoms from those eras, there is a distinct feel that each one has. Even the jokes felt like they actually could have came from that era, right? Sometimes when shows try to copy a certain genre like that, it doesn't feel like they're imitating, it just feels like they're copying, you know what I mean? sometimes it just feels like, they're just trying to copy, but they're not actually imitating it. And I do feel like WandaVision did a very good job at feeling like they actually were a sitcom from that era. Like you guys said, every episode there was something weird that happened. Episode was where the guy was choking. The second episode, oh yeah, it was with the radio, and then the girl cut herself.
And the helicopter.
Yeah, and the helicopter. That's true.
And the
And then
beekeeper.
and the beekeeper. What was the third episode was with Monica. Then
Yeah.
she had the sword necklace, and then she disappears, and then ends up outside of this weird barrier-looking thing. But like most of you guys, there wasn't anything like obviously like I forget who was it said AJ. You obviously knew something was wrong. You knew this wasn't right. I think it was AJ or who was it said that.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, something was definitely wrong. Now, my question for you guys is, did you think that Wanda was causing this, or did you think that maybe she was a victim of what was going on? Just based off the first 3 episodes that happened. Like obviously we know the answer once we get to the end of the series, but
Well, for me, I fully expected her to be the victim, and I kept wanting to see who was doing it.
okay.
Right? Like I was.
What did you think, AJ?
I believed that she had some control over it, but I figured that she was probably being manipulated into doing something for her benefit that would benefit somebody else more.
Oh, okay. That's a good assumption. Daniel, Caleb, what did you guys think?
I thought she was responsible for it, and
Okay.
yeah,
Caleb?
I didn't know what was happening at
That's fair enough.
first. So, not sure.
But
A victim villain? A villain?
well, that doesn't work. Anyways,
Work. I shall make it work.
Vicklin. She was a Vicklin. But yeah, the only weird thing was the third episode with the whole pregnancy thing, and then yeah, the pregnancy was kind of different. It was like Vision's a robot. Even if he's a really advanced robot, I don't think that works, but whatever. But they never explain how that works. Well, I guess they sort of do, but
Well, it happened kind of instantaneously, so I don't know if you ever really. For me, I never really thought it was in any way natural conception, or that it came about in a semi-natural way,
yeah. But
to say it
anyway,
delicately.
but yeah, I think for the first 3 episodes they were trying to make you think that Wanda didn't know what was going on and that she was a victim. But boy, does that change. Anyways, episode 4. This is called We Interrupt This Program, and this is basically the episode where we get backstory. This is the backstory episode. Not like complete backstory, obviously, but we kind of get a better understanding of what is happening. How does this world exist, sort of? Where
Through my benevolence.
the episode starts off with Monica waking up after being alived. She comes back from the snap, and the world is in chaos. And she finds out that her mother died. This is also where we find out that she was actually she was the little girl from Captain Marvel. Because I didn't realize that until that point, which I don't think most people realized. I'm not sure. But Anyways, this is where we're introduced to Sword, Commander Hayward,
I only have a very, very small
and and Darcy Lewis makes a reappearance, and so does Agent Wu. So that was all cool. So, anyways, we'll start off with Daniel this time. Daniel, what were your thoughts on episode 4?
Well, it was good. Unlike the majority of my compatriots, apparently, I did not appreciate it as much as the other ones. I did like Jimmy. Jimmy was always a good addition.
Flourish.
But hey,
Flourish.
Jimmy was my favorite
Homeboy.
character in that episode. Apart from that, yeah. Did they do anything stupid? Did they start questioning Hayward in that episode already?
No.
No.
No. You see, yeah, I didn't have any problem.
Okay, and you're done?
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'm done.
Sorry, I don't want to. I feel like a jerk asking people are you done? But anyways, Chris, what were your thoughts on episode 4?
Like you said, you get the backstory, so it finally started answering questions. So I was like, okay, this is actually in the world I expect. So I think I can maybe get a little more involved and actually enjoy the show more at that point. I did like that they brought some characters back, like Darcy made me laugh a lot. Or did she not show up in this one yet?
Nope, she was in this
Episode 4
episode.
is when she shows up.
Yeah,
Yep.
so,
She was.
which I thought that was really cool just to see that minor character from, well, I guess I should lead all this with my knowledge of Marvel lore and such is minimal. I pretty much just live in the MCU and that's about it.
Okay.
So to see that semi-minor character from the Thor series come in and play a role and actually be the smart one.
Yeah, I
as
never
opposed
actually realized she was smart. I know
Yeah,
that sounds
she's
really
actually
mean.
super smart, right? But then Thor, they make her look kind of
In comparison to
Dixie.
Natalie Portman.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well,
Freaking
she was
Natalie
supposed to
Portman.
go into political sciences, but apparently her major changes between Thor 1 and WandaVision.
Oh, see, I didn't even know that.
What, did she do anything in Thor 2?
Yeah, she
Yeah,
was in the
she
second
she
one.
had an intern.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah,
She
that's
broke
right. She had her own intern.
Oh, and she broke up Natalie Portman's date. But that's a whole nother discussion. Different. I'm trying to remember. I honestly don't remember much about episode 4. Sadly.
Okay.
So yeah, that's all I got.
AJ, what did you think?
Episode 4 was a little bit of a backward step, and I don't appreciate non-linear storytelling. However,
Yeah,
having
don't we know?
having Jimmy Woo there definitely made it fun. I liked seeing Darcy and having there be some growth in that character as well. But all in all, I was not happy that in a show called WandaVision we saw like a minute of Wanda or Vision in it. That bothered me. But other than that, it did answer some questions, but I felt like it also kind of misled us in other directions. I did appreciate that they remembered that Jimmy Woo was fascinated by Ant-Man's magic abilities. That was
Yeah,
that was
magic.
definitely my favorite part about that episode. The moment I saw him like just flourish his card to give to Monica, I was like, "Oh, he learned that trick because of Ant-Man." My wife's like, "Why are you so excited?" I was like, "Because it's from Ant-Man."
And that was AJ's favorite moment of the series.
Of that episode. Yes.
Caleb, we haven't asked Caleb yet. Caleb, what was your opinion on episode 4?
Episode 4 was pretty cool. Once I figured out that, oh, it's happening in the actual world, and this isn't just a weird show thing. I like the return of Darcy.
Yeah, I think that was a big surprise everybody liked. Great.
Yeah. I just like this mystery that suddenly came into being of, oh, there's a town now that's not supposed to be there. And
Well, no, it was supposed to be there, it just went missing.
right,
Nobody remembered it.
same difference.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Sorry, I didn't mean to shut
But
you
yeah,
down.
and then I was like, okay, I can watch a couple more episodes now, see where this goes. Yeah, that was my thoughts on 4.
Okay. I actually thought that episode 4 was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Fun fact, I actually didn't start watching the series till like the day before episode 4 came out. So 1, 2, and 3 all happened within minutes of each other for me. And
Is that the real
So-
reason why we had to combine 1, 2, and 3 together?
no, that's probably the real reason why I didn't get as bored of it as what you guys did. Because I watched them all back to back
Well, hold
rather than
on a
waiting a
minute.
week.
Two of us got bored with episodes 1, 2, and 3. And two
But
of us were
anyways-
enjoying episodes 1, 2,
But
and 3.
anyways, what do I have written
Don't
here?
lump me in with those degenerates.
Oh, I like the introduction to Monica. I think again seeing the world building, around people coming back from the snap was really cool. Just seeing the chaos in the hospital that was happening.
It was definitely a better take than on like the Spider-Man one, how they just played off
don't-
as a joke.
Don't even get me started on that movie. But anyways, it still begs the question: what happened to people who were currently on planes when they got snapped?
Well,
Let's hope they were wearing parachutes.
from what I understand, because people have asked the Russo brothers this, like you would expect the Marvel fandom too, and the Russo brothers said that when the Hulk snaps everybody back, the people that he snaps, he makes sure that they're in a safe place. However,
Okay.
the people that weren't snapped but were on an airplane, they're gone. Right? So like if an airplane crashed into a building,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The people
Well,
who
it's
weren't
the same
snapped,
principle.
they're dead.
Yeah.
But the people
the same
who were
principle.
snapped, they're alive. They were just put on the ground.
Yeah. People who
snap.
who were killed by like Thanos, other than the snap, they didn't come back, right?
Yeah.
So that does make sense. But okay, everybody ready? Me and AJ are gonna have a 30-minute fight. AJ, it wasn't
Can you do it
explained in
in the,
universe, therefore it didn't happen.
Didn't
It
happen.
has to be explained. It has to be explained on screen for it to be a legitimate answer.
I'm okay
What?
with that. If they come up with another reason, I'm fine with that. But your
Because the only-
nonsense about Agent Wu working for Agent May because there's a screenshot of Agent May's phone
It happened on
saying
screen.
that there's a Wu on it. There's more than one Wu in the world, and Agent May could have any number of Wus. Maybe that's her doctor. Maybe that's her mother's maiden name. We don't freaking know.
Shouldn't have tried to drink water. Freaking funny. Anyways, okay, so yeah, Monica got introduced. I love that. Sword got introduced. That was a surprise. I didn't think they would ever establish Sword.
Well, I'd like
Wait,
to
I
butt
take it
in
that's a
on
big
you on
player
that
in
one,
Marvel.
Anthony.
Yeah. Go
So,
ahead.
with the collapse of S.H.I.E.L.D., I knew something had to come up in its ashes. Now, I know that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is supposed to be MCU canon. But I think after this episode, we've seen that clearly Marvel Studios doesn't feel like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is totally canon. I'm thinking of the Darkhold in particular. So, with S.H.I.E.L.D. gone in the movie's timeline at least, that means something has to come up. And so when they introduce S.W.O.R.D., it's like, oh, I guess this makes sense because S.H.I.E.L.D. is gone. What's going to replace S.H.I.E.L.D.? S.W.O.R.D.
Yeah, my main question for
Sure.
S.W.O.R.D. was, what's the difference between S.W.O.R.D. and S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Exactly.
Scimitar.
It kind of makes you feel like why they even get
Shield
rid of
protects,
S.H.I.E.L.D. They should
S.W.O.R.D.
have just kept
attack.
S.H.I.E.L.D. But it would be cool if they brought S.H.I.E.L.D. back, but I guess they never are going to. But anyways, yeah, my question was that, like, what's the difference? Because in the comic books, there is a difference between S.W.O.R.D. and S.H.I.E.L.D., but S.H.I.E.L.D. doesn't exist, so there's no reason for it to be different. But my question is then, too, what makes them think there isn't an evil organization inside this new organization, just like what happened to S.H.I.E.L.D.? But
That's not wrong.
that might be a story for another day.
Yeah.
But anyways, and then seeing Darcy and Agent Wu. Darcy was a huge surprise for me. I never thought, if you would have said, if you would have got me to guess what reoccurring or what character was returning, I probably wouldn't have said Darcy. Like, we haven't even seen Darcy since Thor: Dark World, so it's been quite a while. It's amazing that they got her actor to come back. Which is there's a sort of negative I have for the series that comes out of that later. Not particularly because of Darcy, but because of who they don't come back. But anyways, I'll save that more to the end. But as far as episode 4 goes, I thought it was okay. I thought it was a good time to have a backstory episode, an exclamation episode, I should say. If they did a 4th sitcom episode, I might have been getting pretty bored at that point. So it was a good point to start explaining things.